53 of Greg Morgan. Again, celebrating the Darryl Hills Memorial Weekend tonight here at the Speedway. And again, fans, please stop on down and pick up your Darryl Hills Memorial T-shirts. They are great-looking shirts. I got one, nephew's got one, and so many others do. So be sure and grab those as we honor one of our top super late model drivers and remember him once again tonight here at Potomac Speedway. Again, our Fall Clash apparel stand is set up. Don and the gang has got some beautiful merchandise, plenty of t-shirts, sweatshirts, caps, decals, cups, tumblers, die-cast cars, and much more. And warm-ups for the Adams Property Works sponsored straight stock division wrapping up. PJ Hatcher and that 77. He'll be number one on the board in the Total Machine LLC timing system. 28H of Mason Hansen. He'll be number two. The 41 of Johnny Oliver. The 01 of Adam Braden. And the 93 being powered by Dylan Elton. They will be the top five. For our FloRacing fans just watching tonight, they are battling for their championship as well. Again, Wyatt Hansen comes in with a 51-point edge in that 25 machine over the rookie driver Dylan Elton in car number 93, who is also a one-time winner. It's pretty much a two-horse race. It's going to take a lot to change anything from third on back, but Deuce Wright in the number two, he's had a good season. He was a one-time winner, along with Ricky Edmonds and Matt Tarbox. They were the top five. All right, our Fall Clash super late model drivers on track. There's the 119, Brian Bernheisel out of Jonestown, Pennsylvania, number three in our super late model points for the Fall Clash series. The 11H, JT Spence out of Winchester, Virginia, also making his way out. There's the 08, Ray Love Jr. out of La Plata, Maryland, in that BMH chassis. Sponsored by Ray Love Concrete and D&G Custom. The 00, Tyler Bear out of Rockbridge, Baths, Virginia. Also on hand with us tonight, the 24. He picked up a heat race in the Fall Clash at Hagerstown. That's Kenny Moreland out of Waldorf, Maryland. The 67 of Greg Carrico out of Winchester, Virginia. As of lately, picking up some crate late model wins out in the West Virginia area. The 462 powered by Keith Walls out of St. Thomas, Pennsylvania. Also making it out in group number one for our Fall Clash Series super late models. Again, they'll do their warm-ups, and as we mentioned, time trials will kick things off after the opening ceremonies for the Fall Clash Super Late Model drivers. And again, $550 going to the top qualifier, $200 of that courtesy of Bob Hilbert Sportswear. They are the official sponsor of the Fast Time Award for the Fall Clash Series this year. And then another $350 courtesy of Leonardtown Ford, Eugene Copsey Plumbing and Heating, and also 3 Mules Welding. Getting some of our drivers and also crew members situated across the racetrack. And as soon as they're situated, we'll go ahead and unleash our first group of super late models tonight. 50 laps, $10,000 to the winner. And at the end of the rainbow, another 10 to whoever your champion for the Fall Clash Series for 2025 is going to be. For our FloRacing fans, as we was talking to our fans here at the track right now, this is the final race of this 9-race program. Only one event rained out this year. That was at the Bridgeport Speedway in New Jersey. Race number 2. But prior to that, Mason Ziegler, he picked up the inaugural victory in the Labor Day 55. And then after that, Dave Hess Jr. at Dundee, New York. And Trevor Feathers, it has been his show for 4 races. 3 of them in Pennsylvania, 1 in Hagerstown, and then Greg Satterley picking up the big victory last night in Georgetown, Delaware. As warm-ups underway tonight here at Potomac. Number 1, wrap it up. Ray Love in the 08 machine, along with JT Spence, Brian Bernheisel, and also the 24, Kenny Moreland. Chill's trying to get some transponders incorporated into some of our cars, so we'll get all the laps and get you up to speed on where everybody is right now. Meanwhile, down the back straightaway, group number 2 making their way out. That's the Trip Zero machine. That is Kyle Lear out of Severna Park, Maryland, driving that Pat McNeil machine. 36 is Sam Archer, number 2 in our limited late model points for the 2025 season out of Waldorf. 24, Kenny Moreland out of Waldorf, Maryland, likewise. There's the 25Z. That is Mason Ziegler, your current point leader out of Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania. One-time feature winner in 2025. And right behind him, the 11C, Trevor Collins, number 6 in Fall Clash Series points. Last night's winner at Georgetown, Delaware, the 22, Greg Satterley out of Indiana, Pennsylvania. The Truth is back on board. And also the 6, powered by Austin Lathram out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. Those are the latest drivers making their way out as we get set for group number 2 of our Fall Clash Series Super Late Model warm-ups. Ken Ziegler coming in sporting an 84-point advantage over 4-time winner Trevor Feathers. Brian Bernheisel right now 3rd in the standings, followed by Ross Robinson and Jacob Piper, as everybody does a couple pace laps and gets set to get up to speed in group number 2 of Super Late Model action. Coming up, group number 3 of Super Late Model warm-ups right now as the field heads down into the lower pit area, making their final adjustments. Been a very interesting season when you look at the different track dimensions and the sizes of the facilities that this fall class chose. The Bedford Speedway, obviously, a rather large facility. They started off at the Labor Day 55, and then in no time you go to the action track in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, which I think I could fit in the living room of the house. It is a tiny facility, basically done for a 600cc micro sprint series, but they did a fantastic job. As you see the 32J of Justin Weaver out of Clear Spring, Maryland on the track. There's the 15K. That is the Bruce Kane Racing entry being powered by Jamie Lathrop out of Mechanicsville. Car number 10, that is Dave Staub out of Millmont, Pennsylvania. And on the track right now also the 44, that's Oakland, Maryland driver Dylan Lewis. Car number 72, four-time full class late model champion. That is Trevor Feathers out of Winchester, Virginia. And the 61, Mike Chabaka. He is our modified driver from earlier this year. Remember that red 61 that ran here? He has got himself a late model for the driver to Glen Burnie, Maryland. So again, Feathers coming in, 84 back in the battle for the championship, along with Mason Ziegler. They will watch that battle very intently. Weaver in that 32J, very good runs in the Sean Jones entry. Picked up a heat race win last night in Georgetown, Delaware. Had a solid run and has looked very strong in that Sean Jones Racing entry. Fortunately, damage on that Bruce Kane car, that 15K of Jamie Lathrop on that left rear. And he pulls up to a stop high in turn number 1 and 2. Bruce Kane, of course, well known for fielding drivers in a lot of different cars. Josh Rice, most recently winning that big steel block race out of the Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio. Jamie Lathrop has done some racing for Bruce in the past, and unfortunately having some issues down in 1 and 2. That has caused him to come to a stop with the damage on that left rear. 72 with Trevor Feathers. He wasted a little time. He's tops on the board right now in our Total Machine LLC scoring. As again, we'll get everybody else sorted out transponder-wise and make sure we know that you know where your favorite driver is going to be when they come out for the Bob Hilbert Sportswear Fast Time action here shortly. SCDRA Roadsters will be coming up in a few moments. That will be their warm-up session as they get set for their run for the championship tonight, and then our vintage full-bodied stock cars for their 5-lap hot lap qualifying coming up this evening. Fans, again, don't forget, plenty of great food at our concession stand downstairs. If you want to stop on down, grab yourself a bite to eat or drink, get some great food. Dan D does a great job here at the Speedway. And again, as we mentioned, Fall Clash Racing Apparel available down at the tent tonight if you want to get your souvenirs to mark the Fall Clash in their one and only appearance here at Potomac Speedway on championship night. Stop on down and see Don and the gang at the Fall Clash tent. Again, plenty of Darryl Hills Memorial T-shirts are also available at their table and some goodies down there. And also don't forget the Clements Cuties. They have a gun raffle going on. If you want to stop down and take some chances on that gun raffle at their table, they're all lined up right here behind our grandstand area. And be sure to partake in that. Hope the kids had a great time during Halloween, and if you want to continue, we are still doing some pumpkin painting downstairs as well. Tara's got it set up right at our entertainment stage, so during the course of the night, If you want to have the kids come on down and decorate some pumpkins, and they may get some goodies as well, be sure and stop them on down. 50-50 is still running through the grandstand area likewise, so be sure and partake in that and see if we can bump that number up to a pretty good total for somebody here tonight at the Speedway. Again, we thank everybody for all your support during the course of the 2025 season. This was the maiden voyage for David and Missy Williams, taking over the promotership of the Speedway this year. A lot of off-season work, but unfortunately they didn't get started until right after the first of the year, and that is when a major snowstorm, or a couple of them, came through. We had a very unprecedented winter season here at Potomac Speedway, and that put them a little bit behind schedule trying to get some of the physical work done to the Speedway. But nonetheless, when you look at the array of billboards, the fencing that's been repaired, and some of the new stuff that's been put up, all the bleacher boards were replaced. A lot of things. You can take an eyeball all the way around the Speedway, and they've done an absolutely fantastic job. So again, our hats off to them in their first year of being the promoters here at Potomac Speedway. And what a great way to end the season with having one of the top super late model groups coming in tonight. Certainly hopeful that Latham and the Bruce Kane team that's got some work cut out for them can get that car fixed in time to get him back out for the Bob Hilbert Sportswear Fast Time coming up here in just a little bit. All right, here they come like a bull out of the china shop. Coming out of the lower pits, there's a 99 Steven Suit. He is your point leader right now in the SCDRA Roadster Division here in 2025 at Potomac. And we'll take a look at some of the other drivers out there. The 22 being powered by Cody Buttorf out of Hollywood, Maryland. Car number 65 also on the Speedway right now. That's John Hammond III out of Avenue as they come from the infield and from below. 46, there you see, that is the Justin Buttorf machine rolling by. 47 out there, that's Alexander Clark out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. The 91X of Alan Griffith out of Winchester, Virginia is also on hand with us tonight. 07 of Trevor Hammett out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. Car number 2A powered by John Healy out of Chaptico. The 26 of Richard Martin out of Port Tobacco. 27 of Rob Martin out of La Plata. And the 108 of Earl Whitehouse III out of Huntingtown, Maryland. All the drivers of the SCDRA Roadster Division. Again, coming in tonight, it is a 19-point gap between the 99 of Steven Suit and the 46 of Justin Buttorf in the battle for that championship. And their 15-lapper will culminate tonight's racing action here at Potomac Speedway. All right, hot laps wrapping up for the SCDRA Roadsters, being brought to you by J&R Towing. The 22, powered by Cody Buttorf. He'll end up with the top time on the Total Machine LLC scoreboard. The 91, coming home in the number 2 spot, that's Alan Griffith out of Winchester, Virginia. 2R on the racetrack. Wrapping up, that's a 2A actually of John Healy. Then the number 94, he's fourth on the board here in our warm-up session tonight. Justin Borman out of Callaway, Maryland. And then the 65 of John Hammett III out of Avenue, wrapping things up here tonight. All right, one thing left to do in the warm-up part of the category. That's going to be the vintage cars. We do have a couple of vintages out there for some hot lap qualifying which will be 5 laps in distance. They will have a 15-lap feature coming up later on tonight to kick off the feature activity here at the Speedway. Again, the street stocks will be number 2 in the feature event order. They will be 15 laps, 50 laps for the super late models, and then 15 for the SCDRA Roadster division. Tony Catlett right there in that 6C. Looks to be about a 63 Ford. And the 13 of Gerald Shannon is also out there. That driver hailing out of Nanjemoy, Maryland. '41 powered by Glendine and a Clements, Maryland, also out there as our 3 vintage cars get a few laps in before we get set for the opening ceremonies tonight here at the Speedway. Once again, our thanks out to so many fine sponsors, and again, as the night goes on, we will continue to go through the contingencies that are available for a lot of our drivers. I mentioned the SCDRA Roadsters. We have a lot that's going on there for them. Again, J&R Towing came up with some additional money for them tonight. They're going to be running for $700 to win. $500 extra was put up by J&R Towing. The first heat race winner for these drivers, $50, courtesy of Luck Beats Talent. Second heat race winner, $50, courtesy of Triple J's Racing in memory of Darryl Hills. And that may be it as far as heats. But the third place finisher tonight also getting another $50 courtesy of Kyle Jenks and FWD Fridays. All right, looks like our hot lap qualifying session for the vintage full-body stock cars wrapping up. 41 at Glendine. He'll be tops on the board tonight with the 13 coming home in second, that being the Gerald Shannon machine out of Nanjemoy. Tony Catlett trying to get back out in that 6C car, but had some issues, so they will head down to the lower side. Again, they'll have a 15-lapper coming up a little bit later on tonight as we get set for Super Late Model time trials. The drivers downstairs in the pit area making their final adjustments, getting ready for the Bob Hilbert Sportswear Fast Time. And in a few moments, we'll go down trackside for opening ceremonies for tonight's activities.
Hey, this is Kyle Larson, and you're watching the best pavement, dirt, and drag racing, all live on FloRacing. You have great racing on the track, you have great crowds.
400 race cars. 8 laps to go. Corner number 4 at the line. Brandon over. This is what you save your lunch money for. Welcome to the High Limit Room.
All right, as part of Halloween weekend, we extended for our kids. As we mentioned, we do have the pumpkin painting contest going on. And look at this little fella coming. And we also have a couple of them that are dressed up in Halloween costumes. I guess this is a race car driver. This is a cute little girl. And actually, we're going to have a contest to see who had the best costume. What's your name?
Anna Quaid.
And your name?
Jan.
What was it again?
Jan.
You know how pretty you look tonight? Just smiling.
Thank you.
Well, we were going to have a contest and have the best costume. Let's get our two little ones. Just turn around real quick. And can you look the same direction that I'm looking? Here you go. I know you want to get out there in a race car. We're going to give both of them a top award. So let's hear it for our two best dressed here tonight in our Halloween contest. Oh, what do we got? Oh, we got them coming from everywhere now. We got a firefighter, a race car driver. All right, can't change the rules in the middle of the stream now, David. We are going to let them all be winners, right? David, we are going to let them all be winners now because we got stragglers coming in. So the $10,000 prize goes to each one of them, right? Okay, cool. You're going to have to talk to Mason Ziegler or Trevor Feathers or Greg Satterley about that. You just stole his money. They don't know what I'm talking about. That's okay. Hey, guys, what's your name? Mason? That's okay. If I got to come out here and do all this and make a fool out of myself, I think I can coax somebody to say at least their name. Mason. Say Mason.
Mason.
All right. There it is. And your name? I can't even see your face.
Zach.
Zach or Zeb? Zach?
Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, fans, these are great little costumes. I think they look adorable. Again, please give them a nice round of applause. And a happy Halloween. I hope you had a great time trick-or-treating last night here at the Speedway because you guys look adorable. And if you got any extra Kit Kats or Reese's Cups, you know where to find me. I want some. I want some. You got candy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned, we do have one more event left in the 2025 season. That's next Saturday for the Enduro 100, and we certainly hope you can join us for that night of racing as well. Going to be the afternoon, as a matter of fact. I believe it starts around 3 or so. But if this is your final race of the 2025 season, on behalf of David and Missy Williams, we thank all of you for being a part of it. To our FloRacing fans, we thank them for watching tonight. And for a lot of our traveling fans, if you're following the Fall Clash Series or following your favorite driver and are not from this area, we welcome you here to Potomac Speedway. At this time, for our Darryl Hills Memorial tonight, we ask everybody to please rise as you're able. We will deliver tonight's invocation to be followed by our national anthem. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the beautiful day that you have given us. We thank you for allowing us to enjoy our youth through little kids here on the Speedway in their Halloween costumes. For many of us, it brings back wonderful memories of our trick-or-treating days, and we certainly are glad that we can continue the holiday season right through this weekend at Potomac Speedway through the eyes of young children. They are our future, and we certainly hope that you give us the strength to guide them and teach them and show them some of the wonderful things that you have given us as adults in life to enjoy, and one of those being friends and family that are here to racetrack many nights during the course of the season. We're very grateful and thankful to David and Missy for being able to help us to keep this facility open and to help us to enjoy the sport of auto racing each and every Friday night here at the Speedway and, of course, tonight on Saturday. We thank you for keeping all of us safe and affording us the opportunity not only to be here, but getting us safely home each and every week and allowing us that opportunity to be back once again. We know there are tough times in our country. We know there are a lot of our employees that are suffering right now as a result of our shutdown. We certainly are asking for your guidance and strength, and please help this end so many people who are stressing can get over that and go back to their ways of earning their paychecks and enjoying their time and not having this much stress in their lives. And we certainly hope life can get better and will be getting better for them in the very near future. With that being said, we also ask you to protect our military. They protect us each and every day of our lives, and they do things that are unbeknownst to us, and we are so grateful for them each and every day. Please continue to guide them and protect them and keep them safe as they continue to do their job to keep us safe as well. We thank you for Jenny Hills and the Hills family and all her friends and family members that are here with us tonight. You have brought those angels back with us to help us remember and honor Darryl Hills once again this evening. And as they are here in the grandstands and they're helping and doing their part to keep Darryl's memory alive, we also ask you to keep our race drivers safe as well as the crews and all of our crew members that are behind us and our officials all around the Speedway. Give them the ability to make the wise decisions out there and keep them safe as we continue to provide the best sport on the face of the earth, and that's the sport of auto racing. As we wrap up tonight, we ask you please keep us safe in our travels home, and please afford us the opportunity to be back together once again as racing friends and family, and certainly during this holiday season to be around each other and enjoy what we love so very much, and that's the camaraderie amongst all your children. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Here to perform our national anthem, we bring back Jessica St. Clair.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica St. Clair. She belted another great one out tonight. All right, our Bob Hilbert Sportswear Fast Time for super late models coming up. You heard them down the back road. They are lining up, staging in, getting set for qualifying. All right, Super Late Model qualifying. Drivers are lined up on the backstretch road. They are getting set for their qualifying as they get set to come out. Being brought to you by Bob Hilbert Sportswear at Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Looks like we do have a couple of scratches tonight. The 61 of Mike Shazopka will not be able to make it out, and also with that damage during warm-ups, the 15K of Jamie Latham. We also understand that driver is a scratch in tonight's Super Late Model Fall Clash Series event. Again, $200 going to the top qualifier tonight, the Bob Hilbert Sportswear. That's courtesy of the Fall Clash Series. And then also another $350 going to the Fast Time Award winner, courtesy of Leonardtown Ford, Eugene Copsey Plumbing and Heating, and also 3 Mills Welding as we get set. Time trials underway. Going to be the 08 of Ray Love Jr. out of La Plata, Maryland. This is a D&G Custom SRI. Base Racing Fuel, Ray Love Concrete, Ted Donick. Powered BMAT chassis car. Also on the track, the 11H being powered by JT Spence out of Winchester, Virginia. The National Traffic Systems, Moreflow International, Larry Royster, Septic Service, Martin's Pumping Service, Clements Powered Rocket. First 2 supers on the track in qualifying here tonight. White flag is out and kicking things off. 15.604 will be the initial lap for Red Love Jr. 11 of JT Spence making his way back to the stripe. 15.546 will be lap number 1. Final lap for Love, 15.538. And that 08 machine and the 11H of Spence coming back to the stripe. 15.272 will be the second lap for the driver out of Winchester, Virginia. The first of 26 scheduled to go. We are trimmed down to 24. By virtue of the 2 scratches we mentioned, the 61 of Mike Shabaka and also the 15K of Jamie Latham in the Bruce Kane number 15K machine. Coming up next, going to be the 67, powered by Greg Carrico out of Winchester, Virginia. That's the Exceptional Wildlife Removal Race City Performance Race City Kryptonite Chassis machine. And joining him in car number 462, this is Keith Walls of the St. Thomas, PA. The Kyle Hardy Racing Mulch and Firewood by Richard Walls. Farmers Paint Coming, Old Time Truck Painting, Quaid Racing Engines, Rocket Powered Entry. Fifth, 16.487, lap number 1 for Carrico. And back behind him, going to be a 16.487, Keith Walls in the 462. Second lap on the 67, 16.151. And for Walls, 16.223 will be lap number 2. Right now, JT Spence tops on the board as the 08 of Joey Love right behind him in our Bob Hilbert Sportswear Fast Time tonight. Coming up in a few moments, it'll be the 119 of Brian Bernheisel. He'll be the next driver out at Jonestown, Pennsylvania. I think they are still trying to do a little bit of tweaking on some transponder issues. We have a couple of numbers up on the board right now that would not match with the cars that have already been out on the Speedway, so still trying to dial that one in. But Bernheisel, number 3 man in the Fall Clash Series points, takes to the track. That is the Laser Chassis Uglies Kettle Chip Seal and Screw Ford Clements Powered Laser Machine. Brian Bernheisel out of Jonestown, PA. And joining him, the 00, Tyler Mayer from Rockbridge, Vance, Virginia. This will be the Rafine Transport, Dottie's Country Store, Stanton, Union Stockyard, Smith Farm and Equipment Repair, Clements Powered Longhorn. Bayer of the 00 making his appearance here at the Speedway as Bernheisel goes by in the 119. 15.606 for the driver of the 119. Bayer of the 00 back to the stripe. Lap number 1. He'll go third at 15.542. Second lap for Brian Bernheisel, and he will be a 15.226 on the board right now. Bayer of the 00 back to the stripe. And Tyler Bear will be third right now, 15.306. That will bump Ray Love down to the number 4 position. 67 to Greg Carrico, currently in 5th. All right, Brian Bernheisen with that top time right now as the next pair of drivers on the track. That's the 000 of Kyle Lear at Savannah Park, Maryland. This will be the McCall's or McNeil's Towing, Jim's Racing Tire, Clements Powered Rocket, Austin Latham at the number 6 machine. Out of Mechanicsville, the Eugene Compsey Plumbing and Heating, Three Mills Welding, Larry's Hills and Sons Excavating, Barron's Powered Rocket Machine. Lear will go, I believe, number 3. His 000 kind of messes us up a little bit on a 2-digit scoreboard as he'll roll by. 6 of Austin Latham right now trying to find the tops on the board. Can't do it as he works his way back for lap number 2. Latham will go number 5, 15.726. So right now, Brian Bernheisel, the 119, he's tops on the board. Going to be 11H of JT Spence in second, 00 of Tyler Bear, the 08 of Ray Love Jr., and the 6 of Austin Latham. They will be the top 5 in our current Super Late Model Time Trials, being brought to you by Bob Hilbert Sportswear. Scheduled to come up next going to be the 24 of Kenny Moreland of Waldorf, Maryland. He picked up a big convincing heat race victory a couple of weekends ago at the Hagerstown Speedway for our Full Clash event. He did not have a good night when it came to the feature. Zia Mason Ziegler will be behind him, the current points leader in Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania, as we get things dialed in. Take care of the 000 of Kyle Lear. He was questioning something over there with one of the track officials down in the entrance of turn number 1 and 2, and now rolls back around. So apparently, and I'm not in contact with race control, Lear is owed a lap, so the 000 is coming back. He will get the white flag this time by, and we will see what he can do. And Lear was very strong in warm-ups, as we mentioned. He's done crate and limited late model racing for many years here at Potomac Speedway and has been very strong. And he works his way off at turn number 3 and 4. Back to the stripe. The white flag now out for the 000 machine. This is the Pat McNeil entry. Dale Murphy's been behind the wheel several events at Hagerstown Speedway. Lear's been running the last couple of weekends. He rented at Hagerstown for the Fall Clash Series. And now back in it tonight at Potomac. Checkered flag coming out for the 000 machine. He moved himself up into 4th. There on the board, 15.442 for Kyle Lear out of Savannah Park, Maryland. So right now, Brian Bernheisel tops on the board. It's going to be JT Spence, Tyler Bear, Kyle Lear, and the 08 machine being powered by Ray Love Jr. As we mentioned, Kenny Moreland, Waldorf, Maryland driver, the Waldorf Tire Pros, Moreland Racing, Custom Race Engines, Longhorn on the track right now. And the current point leader in the Fall Clash Series, 25, Mason Ziegler, down to Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania. This is the Green Lane, ADS Truck Collision, JLE Industries, ADS Auto and Trailer Sales, Clements Powered Rocket. Second place finisher last night at the Georgetown Speedway in Delaware padded that points lead by 84 tallies. Moreland back to the stripe, and that's going to be a 15.289. Put him number 3 on the board that time by Ziegler. First time down at Potomac Speedway, the 25Z, 15.550. Second lap for Moreland, and he will remain third. 15.376 will be that second lap time for the Waldorf, Maryland driver. Ziegler, meanwhile, the 25Z trying to find a little bit more speed. Tops on the board for Mason Ziegler out of Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania. 14.906. Your current Fall Clash Series late model points leader. Now the man to go after in the Bob Hilbert Sportswear Fast Time. And if there's anybody of one of many that can catch him, it's the next one out. That is the truth. 22, Greg Satterley. Out of Indiana, Pennsylvania, the Kaiser Manufacturing, Satterley Motorsports, All About Wraps, Fast Andy Racing, Classic, Ink Spring Printing, Clements Powered Rocket. And behind him, the number 5 man in full Class Series points, the 11C, Trevor Collins out of Seaford, Delaware. That is the Sign Shop, WWC the 3rd, Trucking, LLC, EDS Auto Center, Sadie, Scott Farm, Coronet Powered Rocket Machine. Satterley, second on lap 1, 15.156. As Collins works his way back across the stripe. Another 11 on the racetrack, 15.440. Satterley pouring it on off of turn number 4. And he will remain number 2, 15.152 for Greg Satterley. Final lap for Collins in the 11C. He'll be a 16.109. But the top 2 in last night's Georgetown event, Satterley and Ziegler, right now, they are top 2 in current Bob Hilbert Sportswear qualifying. All right, coming up next on the Speedway, it's going to be the 36, number 2 man in limited late model points in 2025. This will be Sam Archer in the All About Wraps, J&R Towing, Archer Race Engines Powered Rocket. And also on the Speedway right now, going to be the 0 of Dale Hollage, the Stokely Speed and Supply, Lazy Lane Lawn Maintenance, the Salt and Scoop Virginia, Hemp Growers, Clements Powered Rocket, for that driver hailing out of Chaptico, Maryland. 16.028 for Archer on lap number 1. And lap number 1 for Dale Hollage in the 0. Another driver knows his track very well. 15.516 on that first circuit. Second lap for the 36 of Archer. He will be a 15.834. And the final lap coming up for the 0 of Hollage. He'll be a 15.750. So that will keep Ziegler and Satterley, top 2 drivers, on track right now. All right, he's been a winner this year here in multiple places, including Potomac Speedway. That's the 45, the Summy and Ruth Ann Lacey machine of Kyle Hardy out of Stevens City, Virginia. This is the SLR Racing, Great Mills Trading Post, Penn Avenue Construction, Gibson Steel and Power Coating, Clements Powered Rocket, making his way onto the Speedway. Joining him in car number 74 to Mechanicsville, Maryland, Derek Quaid, the Champion Auto Parts, Bowles, Mobile Glass, Cecil Creek Logan, JDS, Penske Shocks, and Vic Hill Rocket. 2 very accomplished drivers here at Potomac Speedway. Next up on the track, trying to see if they can crack the top 5 on the Total Machine LLC scoreboard. That'll be a 14.906 to beat right now, as it's going to be back to the stripe, 15.569 for Hardy. Not good enough for the top 5 for the moment. 74 at Quaid, back to the stripe, lap number 1, 15.495. Second lap for Hardy, 15.337. As a 74 at Derek Quaid, wrapping things up. And he will be a 15.546. As Ziegler, Satterley, Bernheisel, top 3, along with JT Spence and the 24 at Kenny Moreland. Coming up next, going to be the 27, powered by Michael Lake, out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania. This is Donald Carnes Auto Salvage, Lakes Inn, Gary's Auto Sales, Seal Tight Paving, Pro-Powered Longhorn, making his first appearance. Driver runs up at Elkins Speedway in Latrobe. Also the 01 of Matt Glandon at Denton, Maryland, the Glandon Construction, Advanced Motorsports, K&B Auto, VP Racing, Bruce Kane Racing, Mullins Powered Rocket. Our latest 2 drivers on track. All right, white flag about to come out, and problems for Glandon down in turn number 3 and 4 as he pulls up and brings it back to the stripe. Michael Lake also off the pace just a little bit, just making sure of any issues on the racetrack right now. Both drivers settle down for a moment. Now they're back up to speed as they begin their 2-lap session. Getting our thanks out to Bob Hilbert Sportswear, Boyertown, Pennsylvania, the official sponsor of our Fast Time Award for the 2025 season this year. Landon in the 01 back to the stripe, 16.259 on lap number 1. 27 of Michael Lake. First time for the Uniontown, Pennsylvania driver, 15.766 on that first circuit. Glandon at a Denton, Maryland, bringing the 01 back to the stripe. Checkered is going to be out, going to be at 15.972 on lap number 2. It looks like the 27 of Michael Lake will call it quits and headed off into the pits. No change in the running order right now. 25, a Carl Vaughn at a Chesapeake, Virginia. He'll be next up on the track, the Industrial Heavy Equipment, Schaefer's Racing Oil, Race City Rocket. And also out there, your 2025 Limited Late Model Champion here at Potomac. That's the 8 of Jeremy Pilkerton at a Loveville. That is the Guy Enterprises, Albee Brothers, Country Beat and Butchery, S&J, Heating and Air, Alexander, Chiropractic Center, Ingram, Powered Rocket. Right, back to the strike. Carl Vaughn at the 28 kicks things off. Not a good lap there. Pilkerton's number 8, 16.297, will kick things off for him as it's still Ziegler. And also the 22 of Greg Satterley, top 2 on the board. Vaughn back to the stripe. This will be his white flag. 16.845. Lap number 1 for Carl Vaughn. Pilkerton back to the stripe. He'll be a 15.941. So that'll wrap it up, and those two in their qualifying event as the 44 of Dylan Lewis out of Oakland, Maryland, the Racing Base Fuel, Bertzel, Excavating and Paving, Action Towing, Napa Auto Parts, RPM, Distinctive Homes, Rhine Competition Engines, Longhorn, makes his way out onto the racetrack. He'll be joined by the 32J of Justin Weaver at Clear Spring, Maryland, the Red Wing Shoes, Baker Door Company, Jeff Jones Masonry, Wheelers Towing, JRD Automotive, Barron's Racing Engine, Longhorn. Those are the next two out. And Justin Weaver having 3 runs now in this Sean Jones, number 32J, picking up a heat race victory last night at the Georgetown Speedway in Delaware. White flag, meanwhile, is out. Dylan Lewis, hampered by a lot of engine woes this year. 15.878 will be lap number 1 for the Oakland, Maryland driver. Back to the stripe for Weaver, the 32J, 15.471 on lap number 1. Final lap coming up for Lewis in the 44, 17.294, slowed down dramatically for him. And back to the stripe for the 32J of Justin Weaver, 15.352 will be his second lap time. Down to a couple of drivers left to go in our qualifying tonight. One of those being the 10S, being powered by Dave Stamm in Millmont, Pennsylvania. This is the Dave's Automotive. Boomerangs, Bar and Grill Precision, Power Coating, Kaiser Wheels, Jay's Automotive, Deals on Wheels, Masterbuilt. And out there behind him, the 72, Trevor Feathers, Winchester, Virginia, the PSI Packs, Genevieve Plumbing, Cameron Construction, Kaiser Manufacturing, Coombs Bus and Truck Service, Garner Construction, B&L Hauling, to Ruth & Son Concrete, Pro-Powered Rocket. He was fast earlier tonight in warm-ups. He is chasing Mason Ziegler for the championship, and he begins his 2-lap assault on the clock. Back to the stripe, white flag. Meanwhile, out for Dave Stamm, a regular here in the Fall Clash Series, 16.989. Lap number 1. Let's see what the runner-up in the series points for the moment can do. Feathers back to the stripe. And right now, Trevor could be in the number 4 spot. We got an unrelated that just hit the board. So I will say that is him in number 4 spot. 16.190 for Dave Stamm in number 2 lap. And here comes the 72, and it is Trevor Feathers. He'll be 3rd. And the final rundown in tonight's Bob Elbert Sportswear Fast Time. So the cream is rising to the top as this season is winding down on the Fall Clash Series. 25 of Mason Ziegler, your points leader at Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania. Top qualifying time tonight. 22 of Greg Satterley, the winner last night at Georgetown, Delaware. And your number 2-point man, 72, Trevor Feathers. 3rd on the board, Brian Bernheisel, JT Spence, top 5. As we'll have some words with Mason Ziegler here in a moment. baby. Work for me. Work. There we go. All right, maybe we were just in the wrong spot because we know our microphone's a little bit sensitive. Went further down. Mace, I might need you to walk this way for me. No, just come up here. You're right. He ain't going to get hit by nobody. Hey, great comeback. We talked less than 24 hours ago, second place run. And I know I asked you what you thought of the racetrack. You didn't have a whole lot of knowledge. How's things working? I know top qualifying effort's a big, big help. But what are you seeing? What notes are you collecting that's going to help you as you move on tonight here in the feature event?
The place is so deceiving, especially out on the racetrack. That ledge halfway up the racetrack, you want to use a lot more of the racetrack than you really can. And, I learned that my first lap. My first lap, I botched pretty bad. So we were able to make a good lap the second lap. Still bottoming out pretty bad, but we're go work on it a little bit and see if we can get a little better. But, I mean, if that Trevor's proved anything, you don't got to qualify to win. So we just got to stay up on the wheel tonight and run good and have a good finish and not tear anything up, and should be good.
All right. Now, in addition to the $200 you get from Bob Hilbert Sportswear, which has been great all season long, we have had some folks. Christina Weir, a local person that's helping with the Darryl Hills Memorial. She has raised a lot of money. So by virtue of Leonardtown Ford, Eugene Copsey Plumbing and Heating, and 3 Meals Welding, they came up with another $350. You just won $550 by running 2 laps tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much to all the great sponsors and all you fans for coming out. We couldn't do it without all you, and that $500 is amazing. I mean, it goes a long ways, and just the fuel and pit passes to come down here, and not even the tire wear or race car, engine laps, nothing. Just the miscellaneous stuff is so expensive. So thank you to them, and it goes without saying. It's very important to us.
Mason, great to see you here tonight. Glad things are off to a good start. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Mason Ziegler, your point leader in our Fall Clash Super Late Model Series at Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania. $550 already. Taking the Bob Hilbert Sportswear Fast Time Award. And again, our thanks out to Christina at Leonardtown Ford, Eugene Copsey Plumbing and Heating, and also 3 Meals Welding, another $350 to the Fast Time. All right, Street Stocks, and their heat races coming up. All right, Wyatt Hanson, the 25, your point leader in their Adams Property Works Street Stock Division. He'll be starting on the pole in qualifier number 1. 8 laps will be the distance. 41 of Johnny Oliver on his outside. Row number 2, the 89 is Scott Wilson, and the 23R of Ricky Edmonds. In row 3, the 12, that's Johnny Birch, and then the 18, powered by Dalton Tankersley. Trip 7, PJ Hatcher, 23W, Billy Roble. They will round out the field. 8 laps coming up for heat race number 1. All right, field coming back. Lap number 1. It's going to be Johnny Oliver in that 41. And you notice some of these drivers are topless tonight. And there is a $100 bonus by Alton Racing for the highest finishing street stock without the roof on the car. That will be for the 15-lap feature coming up tonight. But right now, Oliver still in search of that first victory of the season. Cross the stripe. Going to be Hansen in second, 23R. Ricky Edmonds right now in third. Top 2 very tight down that back straightaway. Just a car length separation between first and second. And a pretty good gap right now for Hansen. The only driver that can catch him in the battle for the series championship. Again, going to be the 93 of Dylan Alton. We will see him in race number 2. But right now, an 81-point gap in the battle for the street stock championship. Actually, make it 51. My eyes are getting worse and worse all the time here. Meanwhile, challenge for the lead. Going to be Hansen looking to the inside, trying to get that number 1 spot. Oliver fending him off. Scott Wilson taking a rim ride off at turn 1 and 2 as our leaders head off that third and fourth turn. As 3 laps are complete here in tonight's first qualifying event of the evening for the Adams Property Works Street Stock Division. Super late models will have their qualifying events coming up after the street stocks. We got a good one working as they make their way back nose to tail. Top 2 drivers. Oliver in that 41 machine, very strong all season long. Didn't get the victory and wasn't here all season, so wasn't really a factor in the top 10 in points. But another one of the drivers of many that was very capable of picking up a street stock series event victory. And right now, Hansen finds the power move on the outside. They're D-Dev and going into turn number 1 and 2. Hansen's going to use the high side momentum. And Oliver's going to try to pinch him up and may not be able to do it. Hansen, half a car length. That's the white flag lap. As they make their way back to the stripe, Oliver going hard in 3 and 4. Had to hit the binders. Dogfight back to the stripe. Give it to Hansen in the 25. And what a way to start off tonight's street stock activities. Great way to start our Adams Property Works Street Stocks. What a battle down to the stripe 25. Your point leader, Wyatt Hansen, edging out Johnny Oliver in the 41 to take qualifier number 1 tonight. 23R, Ricky Edmonds. Coming home in third, trip 7 of PJ Hatcher and the 18 of Dalton Tankersley. They will be the top 5 in tonight's action. All right, heat race number 2 is leaving the staging area. As we mentioned, 51 points separate Wyatt Hansen from the gentleman that's going to be on the pole in heat race number 2. That's the rookie, Dylan Alton of the 93, out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. He's a one-time feature winner this year. To his outside is going to be the 53, powered by Mechanicsville, Maryland driver Greg Morgan. Row number 2, the 01, Adam Breeden out of Standardsville, Virginia. And the 11, former champion Matt Tarbox out of Mechanicsville in that 4th starting position. In row 3, number 3 man in points and a one-time winner. That's the 2 of Deuce Wright at an Anjamoy. And on his outside, the 28H of Mason Hansen from Mechanicsville. Final row here in qualifier number 2, the 88 of Scotty Nelson out of Leonardtown. That'll be in the Marty Hanberry machine, and that will wrap it up in the Adams Property Works Street Stocks as they finish up their qualifying 15-lap feature event to determine their champion. Coming up later on tonight as we hit the Leonardtown Ford start zone in turn 3 and 4. All right, green flag underway as the leader's coming back for lap number 1. Going to be the 93 of Alton taking that lead. Breeden on the inside of the 01 machine, trying to snare the number 2 spot away from Greg Morgan. They are nose to tail, little contact. They clear up off at turn number 2 with the 28H of Mason Hansen tucking up into the number 4 position. Single file for the top 4 as they work it back for lap number 2. So Hansen right now in third. He has got Greg Morgan that he just disposed of right behind him by a car length. Then Tarbox in the 411 back there in the number 5 position. The leaders coming back for lap 3. It's been all Dylan Alton, the 93, with about a 3-car length advantage. So everybody single file, at least for the top three. Going to be Tarbox looking to the inside of a wide swinging Greg Morgan. And that puts that 53 back into the number 5 position. Right on the rear deck lid of Tarbox. The 411 trying to hold him off down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, the lead still intact for the 93 of Dylan Alton. And much like in Super Late Model Time Trials, here in the qualifiers for streets, the cream again rising to the top. The tops in points are doing everything they can and need to do to be in the right position to win that championship as Alton works it off at turn 3 and 4. 2 laps to go, coming up this time by. One of Adam Breeden still in second, but Mason Hansen little by little been chewing away on him, and he's right now within a half a car length for that number 2 position. White flag, the summer breeze, 1 to go, and there's Hansen diving to the inside. He'll grab that number 2 spot. He gets the runner-up position right now. Breeden fighting hard on the outside as the 2 of Deuce Wright slowly going up in smoke down the back straightaway. Leader, meanwhile, off at turn 4, checkered in the air. Dylan Alton coming away with the heat race win in qualifier number 2. Mason Hansen, Adam Breeden, and Matt Tarbox, and Greg Morgan. They will be your top 5. So when it counts and they're running for the championship, the top 2 in points, they are your heat race winners of the Adams Property Works Street Stock Division. The 93 of Dylan Alton out of Waldorf for make it to Mechanicsville, coming away with the qualifying heat event win. All right, coming up in a few moments, our Super Late Models will be making their way out for the Fall Clash heat race activity tonight here at the Speedway. There will be 3 qualifiers coming up, which will be 8 laps in distance for the 26 entries. Top 6 drivers obviously have already qualified through the time trials tonight, and they will have their dash race that will be coming up in just a little bit. Those drivers again, Mason Ziegler, Greg Satterley, Trevor Feathers, Brian Bernheisel, JT Spence, and Kenny Moreland. They will have a dash race coming up pretty much, let's see, after we get all the heat race activity done. So the Supers will be out for their 8-lap qualifiers right now. Roadsters will have theirs coming up then. And then, of course, our dash race. Now, it looks like our dash may have just been bumped up behind the Super Late Model heats. So we will take care of all their qualifying business and have their field set, and then have the Roadster qualifiers coming up after that. Well, fans, if you have the opportunity in between some of the breaks and the actions, please stop on down. We've got a lot of great vendors and some wonderful people here tonight. Once again, our Fall Clash apparel available right here behind the grandstand area. If you haven't gotten yourself Fall Clash hooded sweat, T-shirts, caps, decals, they have cups, tumblers, and die-cast cars. Stop on down and see Don and the gang. They have got plenty of Fall Clash apparel available. Tonight, the Darryl Hills Memorial. We honor one of the true greats in our super late model category, but Darryl goes back into the other lower divisions of racing with great success. And we will be honoring him, but we do have Darryl Hills Memorial T-shirts available tonight here at the Speedway. And also, as we mentioned, the Clements Cuties, fantastic organization for very worthy cause, helping to raise money for children and their families with children fighting childhood cancer. Once again, they do have a gun raffle going on. They are a part of a lot of great programs throughout the Southern Maryland region. Stop on down and support our Clements Cuties. These are wonderful people. And if you've never seen one of their Clements Cuties softball games, it's great entertainment, but it's for a very worthy cause. And again, we thank the Clements Cuties and their foundation for everything that they do for all of the people here in the Southern Maryland region. Also, Ms. Tara's been down there. We still have some pumpkin painting if you want to do some of that. If the kids want to stop on by, grab a pumpkin. It's not too late. There's still many of them set down there. And while I can come up for air, Christy told me about 20 minutes ago, and I'm sure the money probably went up, winner share of the 50-50 right now is at $421+. So if you want to add to that total, you can do that. She'll be running through the grandstands. We're going to try to jack that up for you a little bit more here in just a bit. So again, our thanks out to Christy for her hard work through the stands, and to you, the fans, for your contributions here this evening. All right, I am going to do a trivia question. I'm going to try to think of something. We have got 4 great-looking Leonardtown Ford hooded sweats, beautiful black hooded sweats. Now, I think they're XX, and you're going to have to come up these long steps to get it. And if you do, just come all the way up the steps. When you come through the door, turn to your right and come right in and see me. But let's see. I got to think of a good trivia question because I'm doing this off the top of my head. So I'm going to make it kind of easy for people because I got a lot going on here tonight. Who was, if Mason Ziegler was your top qualifier tonight, who ended up number 2 in time trials on that board? If you got the answer to that, come on up. You got yourself a Leonardtown Ford hooded sweat. Don't break your neck coming up the steps. It's 48 steps. That's why I'm out of breath every time I come back upstairs. But who was number 2 in qualifying for the Bob Ilbert Sportswear Fast Time? No, Jeff, Mike, put your hands down over there. You know what? I'm telling you, I'm throwing you all out of here.